Thank you for joining this session on employee experience management. Today we're going to explore strategies for delivering a positive employee experience and also get the perspective of Tom Wallace, Managing Director at Accenture, on his employee experience perspective. So what is employee experience? If you ask 10 people, you're likely to get 10 different answers. I really like Josh Berson's definition that it's all about helping people stay productive, healthy, engaged, and on track. But there are a lot of factors that will influence the employee experience, whether it's company culture, physical office environments, our managers, and so on. And in this session, we're going to consider the impact that both HR and HR technology can have on the employee experience as a whole. The shift to remote and long-term hybrid styles of working mean that technology, and in particular HR technology, has become an even more important enabler of the overall employee experience. And we can see that employee experience is top of mind for HR, and the business case for investing in employee experience really is clear. According to Gallup, highly engaged teams are 21% more profitable, and 50% of HR leaders rated the employee experience as their number one priority. So what should be the resulting outcomes of all of that investment on the organization? Well, first, improving overall engagement leads to a better talent retention, which is foundational to any strong organizational culture. Second, by providing additional employee support during difficult periods like this pandemic, it can bolster employee resilience and well-being. And third, by removing the barriers and friction that people experience with business systems, you can increase efficiency and productivity in order to help your people reach their potential. And our approach at Workday for delivering an outstanding employee experience is called the 4 C's. This approach is all about putting the employee at the center. So let's define what each of those 4 mean. Context. Leveraging all the rich HR transactional and talent data, we can begin to understand the employee context, their needs, aspirations, and interests. Content. Think of all the different types of HR content that will help employees manage their careers and answer their HR questions. Things like learning activities, mentors, knowledge articles, development gigs, and more. Course. Combining the context and the content, we are able to map out an employee experience that is both relevant and different for every employee. And lastly, correct. Employee priorities and business goals tend to change, so it's important to respond to these changes and adapt to the employee experience as needed. The 4 C's provide the framework to help organizations deliver an engaging employee experience focused on the employee rather than the workflow. A key addition to that employee experience framework is our recent acquisition, Peakon. With Workday plus Peakon, you now have a continuous listening platform with real-time visibility into employee engagement, sentiment, and productivity. This allows you to gain insight across multiple different channels of feedback to see what matters to your people, immediately analyze the data, and from there, create prescriptive action plans to deliver meaningful employee experiences. Workday has a wealth of data around your employees that gives you the ability to comprehend their current place, performance, knowledge, and future development opportunities. Paired with Peakon, the emotional and perceptual profile of an employee now comes into view. This type of data allows us to better understand the why behind some of the behavioral data that's available in Workday. Such information includes an employee's own experiences, their motivations, their personal beliefs and perceptions, and their overall engagement. Traditionally, to collect such data, we run employee surveys. But the current employee survey approach really is broken. Workday and Peakon provide you with 2 types of employee insights that enable you to have a complete picture of your people. Using those employee insights, it becomes far easier to tailor and personalize the employee experience. Every employee is unique with different priorities and needs, and their employee experience really needs to reflect that. And so in the very same way that we receive a personalized experience with our favorite consumer apps, we need to get the same level of personalization at work. The more employee data that's available, the more an organization will be able to personalize the employee experience down to the individual employee, so the HR technology is absolutely key to delivering the right employee experience. So how are we infusing personalization into our products at Workday? Well, let's take a look. People Experience encompasses Workday Today, which is the reimagined Workday experience designed with all of your employees in mind. Workday Today is included for free for all Workday customers, and we offer 2 additional paid products to enhance your employees' experience. This includes Workday Journeys and Workday Help. So starting with Workday today, this is Workday's reimagined experience for everyday employees, which encompasses Workday's home and search experience, natural workspaces like Slack and Microsoft Teams, and Workday Assistant. You can make surfacing up suggested tasks, applications, announcements, recommendations, and more a simple and automated process without the burden of manual work. You can also allow your teams to take care of everyday tasks like requesting time off simply by talking to Workday Assistant. Next, we have Workday Help, an additional SKU that is purpose-built for HR service delivery, including knowledge and case management capabilities. Workday Help is a self-service experience, allowing employees to get answers to commonly asked HR questions, reducing the need for case creation. But when complex questions do arise, our case management capabilities seamlessly provide an easy way for employees to both create cases and follow them through to completion. And to round it out, we have Workday Journeys. This SKU allows customers to build, distribute, and manage journey paths and card insights, such as custom cards that are built with data from outside of Workday. From onboarding to promotions, every moment in a person's career matters. With Workday, you can guide each person on their unique journey and enhance how they experience work every day. And now, let me ask Tom Wallace, Managing Director at Accenture, to join me to have a discussion on his perspective on employee experience management. Tom has overseen the Workday practice at Accenture as it has expanded from just a few people to over 2,000 consultants worldwide, working with enterprise organizations as they seek to maximize the value they receive from Workday. A big welcome to you, Tom, and thanks again for joining me. So to kick things off, will you tell us a little bit more about your role at your organization and what you've been working on?
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Jordan, for having me. I guess maybe I'll start with Accenture. So Accenture is a global professional services firm. We do all different types of consulting, from strategy through implementation and operations. But we've also been a strategic partner of Workday's for a little over 13 years. And as you mentioned, I've had the opportunity to be involved with our Workday practice since the early days. We offer our clients a broad set of services centered around Workday. And today we're one of the largest Workday consulting partners globally.
So Tom, given that you work with such a broad range of different clients, different organization types, different industries, what would you say employee experience means to them, and who is typically responsible for managing it?
Yeah, great question. So, I think there's not a simple answer. It means different things to different people, and when you think about the employee experience, that encompasses so many different parts of how you work and your relationship with your employer. At Accenture, when we talk about the employee experience, we oftentimes talk about it as breaking it up into components. So you have kind of the physical experience of your office and the physical environment where you're working. You have a human experience that is really more centered around the relationships that you have with your supervisor and your network and your peers. And also there's a digital experience, which, as you mentioned earlier, is becoming more and more important as the world and our clients move to a highly virtual working model. So those three components, the physical experience, human experience, and digital experience, are kind of how we talk to clients about the employee experience topic as a whole. As far as the second part of your question, who's responsible for managing it? I think that historically that has tended to be viewed as HR's responsibility, as owning the employee experience. However, I think with the world that we live in today, there's employee experience is kind of top of mind for all business leaders. And so we see, other parts of a client's organization also taking responsibility for the employee experience, whether that might be, an operations team, a real estate team that's thinking about maybe that physical environment. Certainly, to the comment I made earlier about digital experience being really important. IT has a big role to play in the employee experience, and it's kind of shifted from a user experience perspective that IT has historically had with business applications, and is now kind of bleeding more into that employee experience concept.
And Tom, I really love how you summarize the different components that go into employee experience overall. and how it really should be a team-wide focus rather than something that is solely owned or managed by HR. So with that in mind, how has Workday helped to improve the overall employee experience for your clients, and what business outcomes have they been able to achieve?
Sure. So I think maybe a couple thoughts come to mind. First, when I think about most of the clients that I work with are very large, incredibly complex companies that have tens of thousands of employees operating around the world, and so when it comes to HR, those types of organizations tend to have a very diverse set of processes, tools, vendors that are still in place even when those companies are using Workday. And so when you think about how HR's mission to provide services to the workforce, it's really about simplifying the consumption of HR information and HR services for that workforce. And so in order to accomplish that goal, HR organizations need technology that can make things simple. Create a one-stop shop for HR where employees can go, ask a question or better yet, find an answer without even having to ask someone. And that could be, looking at internal policies, being able to ask for help, engage with digital assistants, or take action. So with, kind of dovetails in with the topic with the people experience product from Workday that you kind of gave an overview of, Jordan. I think that's one way that we're seeing HR organizations get value out of the Workday product is they're able to create that one-stop shop using the Workday platform.
I really like how you brought up that idea of the one-stop shop. Because, I've talked to a lot of people experience clients, and one thing they've really been able to do is reduce the amount of systems that they have to invest in. So their employees are no longer having to jump around from system to system to system. They can really just jump straight into Workday and access what they need. So, with that in mind, what future plans do your clients have for employee experience, and where are they hoping to take it?
Sure. So I've got a few thoughts there. First, I would say that there's obviously, we've seen a big trend with tons of companies just moving to the cloud. And obviously, a lot of our clients have moved to Workday for HCM. I think what we're talking with clients a lot about today is how do they maximize the value of that HCM tool and maximize the value of Workday. One example of how we're looking at that is by identifying value opportunities for the product that client may not have tapped into when they initially implemented Workday. An example I'll give is actually something that we do at Accenture. So, Jordan, if you didn't know, Accenture is actually a Workday customer. We went live last year. And one of the solutions that we rolled out to our workforce is an analytics solution that we made available to our entire employee population, so 500,000 employees and all of our people managers. And that analytics solution is actually, we're bringing in chargeability data, which, as Accenture being a consulting firm, our chargeability numbers are important. It demonstrates how much of our time we're spending with clients. And so as a people manager at Accenture, I now log into Workday frequently to go see the chargeability metrics for my employees that I'm supervising. We're doing that using the Workday Prism products. And I think it's a good use case of identifying stakeholders that you want to deliver value to through the application, finding solutions that create value, and then using the Workday product to deliver those solutions to your stakeholders. And so, just one way of kind of creating a positive experience for our workforce, using our business applications and using Workday. Maybe just a couple other thoughts though about future trends. I'd say one thing that we're seeing more commonly in the last couple of years is our clients are kind of moving away from the term employee experience and talking about workforce experience. And it's a slight variation on the term, but it's really getting at the fact that large organizations today and really I think organizations of all sizes are seeing a trend more towards the use of alternate forms of the workforce, whether that be the gig economy or contingent labor or consulting professional services firms. That's becoming a larger and larger part of the workforce. And I know that That's a pretty commonly reported trend in the HR space today. And so we do have clients that are now thinking about that workforce experience concept as they're implementing HR tools like Workday, where it's no longer just focused on the employee population, but we're actually looking at what does the contingent worker think about when they're logging into Workday, and what types of services or value are they getting from the platform.
No, definitely. A lot of exciting things coming. So just to wrap up, thank you again very much, Tom, for your time. We really appreciate your insights, your perspective on the HR industry, and where the employee experience market is going in general. So thanks again. Now, as we wrap up, let's review what we've seen today. First, employee experience is more important than ever. Second, HR is playing a key role in both designing and delivering an excellent employee experience. And third, that 4C framework provides a data-informed approach to personalizing the overall experience for your people. So with that, thank you again to Tom Wallace. Thanks to all of you for joining me today, and take care.